video. So in today's video, we're going to be speaking about how to rebrand your life in 2026. Now, if you're new here, you would know that subscribing to this channel is all about how I would help you, motivate you, and inspire you to become your best self in 2026. Rebranding your life, rebranding and reshaping your mindset and your thinking patterns. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive in how it is to reshape your mindset, to rebrand your life for 2026. We're talking about mindset shifts, we're talking about improvement, we're talking about changes physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm going to be mentioning everything of it. Also, a little bit of tips from my experiences that I've had in my 2 years so far of this journey, learning so much and understanding so much. Now, without further ado, before we do get started in this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share this video with anyone who thinks my thing needs it. Share in the comments what you guys think and let me know what you guys think. Grab your cup of coffee or your ice water, whatever you feel comfortable, and take a pen and paper because you're gonna need it. Without further ado, let us get straight into the video. When it comes to rebranding your life, it's not about changing your personality or putting up this fake personality or fake front up, but it's about changing the things that you tolerate, changing your habits, changing your self-care, changing the way you treat yourself, changing your environment, taking care of your space and your environment, changing things that you know is going to benefit you in the long distance. These are one of the things I had to learn in my journey, and taking it as more as with consistency, building a system of consistency, discipline, and growth and healing as well. I did not realize and see how much changes I've experienced in my life, and I've seen with my growth emotionally and physically, emotionally and mentally, or even spiritually, that I've seen in my life taking place in my life so much so that all just because of these changes that I made in my life. When I think of rebranding, you want to think of rebranding your life. You thinking of ways to how you can better your life each and every day. How you wake up in the morning, how you take care of yourself, how you fill your cup, how you take care of your healing, how you show up for yourself when you're in the most vulnerable situations, in the most painful situation and painful experiences. These are things that had helped me in that step and guideline to whatever it is that I was going through or whatever it is that I was working on in my life. Now, this can be something that a lot of us tend to mistake. When it comes to changing or rebranding your life, I always used to think it is about working so hard to build success for yourself in the future. That means driving the luxury car, living in that big house, whatever the case might be. But the most success that I've taken so far from this actually starts from you, how you take care of yourself when you are hurting, and the habits that you have in your day-to-day life, how you set things in place to not tolerate ill-mannered behavior, immature behavior, things that can hurt you, things that can harm you, all of those things. That is one thing that I had to learn and understand when it comes to you rebranding your life. In 2024, when I made the decision to rebrand my life or to change my life choices, that means the way that I was acting, the way I was behaving, the way I was caring for myself, showing up for myself, tolerating behaviors and immature actions and decisions that I knew does not benefit me in any way whatsoever. I was changing the way that I allowed certain things to go on in my life that I knew was hurting me, and I knew that was not going to benefit me in the future. I knew that was causing me more harm than good. I knew it was causing me more harm than good. Finally, taking the decision to cut off, or not in a sense cut off, but taking the decision to just retract myself from a lot of things. That means I had to stop for a while communication with friends from school. I had to just retract a little bit and sit with myself for a second, because I knew if my life was going to go through immediately, I didn't even know this until I started my journey, that if I had immediately gone into, whether that is me going to university to start studying or working or building my physical success, I would then have to later on deal with the consequences of not working on the things that was hurting me at the time, or things that was affecting me from my childhood or from younger days, or from things that was hurting me at that time. The more that I think about it now is the more that I realize you have to work on yourself emotionally, mentally, and physically. All of those things combined in order for you to have the success that you wish to have long term. So what does this look like? How things that used to affect you in school. I knew for the longest time I wanted to change the way that I behaved, my habits, my self care, my thoughts towards myself, my actions towards myself, but just learning to have more self love. So, these are the experiences that I've had in my life when I was in school, especially in high school. For the longest time, I tried to work out. I tried to build a consistent school routine that helped me improve my physical appearance, my mental state, my emotional state at the time. But I could just never build the discipline or the consistency to actually stick to those routines that I built. I would always envision myself or picture myself living this sort of life or acting this sort of way, but never really understanding. But I never built had the consistency and the audacity to take the discipline and to stick with those routines. Those are one of the regrets that I had. When in 2024, when I officially started with it, it was more so going with it in of an ill-mannered mentality. I had the complete wrong mindset towards rebranding my life and changing my life, mainly coming from a lot of hurt, a lot of anger, confusion, and questions that arose in my life at that time, was mainly because of wanting to take revenge and doing it a lot for revenge, to prove a point to people and to prove a point to people that had hurt me, but not to prove a point to myself. I was working still more so in that fact of validation from outside people, from people around me, from outside validation, or from people pleasing, as we would say. I was working a lot with that just to prove a point to the people that had hurt me, or people, the negative experiences that I went through. Okay, I can lose weight, I can look good, I can take care of myself. You don't know what you're missing out on. Trying to prove that point of showing people what they're missing out on because they decided to treat me this way or act a certain way or towards me. However, in that year, it made me more exhausting and tired more than ever. I felt burnt out, I felt frustrated, I felt more angry, I had more questions, I felt burdened, I felt just confused and utterly destroyed and burnt out. In that time, I didn't even think that this is where I would have been sitting today, recording videos, starting a YouTube channel, building the content to help people and inspire people to see what it is like to not allow things that negatively affected you, or things that had hurt you in your life, to never stop you from rebranding or changing your life. But it's always just about the mindset that you're taking in with you on this journey of self-love and self-growth. It always happens and it always comes with the mindset. I started learning and seeing a lot of it, paying more attention to it. For you, in order for you to have a successful life, is goes according to the habits you build, the standards you build for yourself, the boundaries that you bring in place for your successful life, the boundaries, how you take care of your environment, how you take care of yourself. When I want people to look at me or see me, I always want them to see me look put together. I never want to look crusty or my hair's messed up or anything like that. I always want to look good, feel good, and smell good. Those are my non-negotiables. No matter how what I'm wearing, I need to always look put together. Even if I'm just at home, always want to look put together. So I started working on those things. I started working on the actual healing. And when I realized it, a lot of the times when we think, okay, being or rebranding your life is about getting a job, becoming successful, driving your dream car, building your dream house, or living in your dream house, having the right relationship, the high valued relationship, or walking in pure joy and peace and comfort and whatever the case might be, taking yourself on solo dates, going to the movies, and everything like that. But until you sit with yourself, the actual growth and healing and rebranding comes from when you actually take the time to sit with yourself in the uncomfortability of it all, to address the triggers in your life, to address the traumas that you have in your life, to address the things that has hurt you and that has bothered you for the longest of times, to address the insecurities and where they are coming from, to address the sorts of behaviors you tolerate from guys, from friend groups, from people in your life, even from family, to sit with yourself in uncomfortability and taking care of yourself, to journal everything that you feel. That, I'm not gonna lie, but that takes a lot of courage to actually sit with yourself, even in the uncomfortability of it, even in the quiet nights when you're just laying in the bed at night about to fall asleep, crying and shedding the tears, but still comforting yourself at the same time. For me, that takes the strongest courage to actually sit with yourself and work on these things. That's how it works. And that's how it happens to rebrand your life. In that year of 2024, God had to teach me a lot about it. How to actually take the time to work on the things that I was dealing with. A lot of the times, experiences that we come across in our lives that ends up hurting us is actually experiences from that happens or that comes up from emotions and things that we need to fix in our lives. A lot of the times I always used to wonder, why was it that I was always attracting experiences where people were emotionally unavailable in my life. I started doing a lot of deep digging in that. Why was it attracting a lot of emotionally immature, or having people in my life, especially men, that was emotionally unavailable, or whatever the case might be? I started working through that and started asking the questions. I started asking God the questions. Why is it that this experience has to come up again for the second time in my life? Realizing that it was because of a lot of lessons that I had to learn, my attachment styles that I had to fixate on, going through rejection and the confusion that comes with rejection, going through those things of questioning yourself, questioning your worth, questioning who I am as a person. I had to deal with a lot, and I didn't just deal with it on the surface. I had to go through the root of the problem. Where did it start? What made me act in a way that was people pleasing? What made me act in a way or tolerate a certain behavior from someone that I knew was hurting me, but I called it love, or that I had a crush on them, or that I was attracted to them, or I had feelings for them? What is it that I had to work on thoroughly in that? Me and my sisters have been doing the 75 hard for like a few weeks now, for about 3 weeks now. Although we still have days that we have to do, that's on the back of the cupboard, going on with it. But I was telling my sister that, and in the 75 hard challenge, all of that, having the consistency of waking up every single day at 6, by having my Bible study, spending time with God, and then journaling, and then working out, and then also reading 10 pages of a book, and moving and going for a walk every morning. Because of the consistency of this, because of the consistency, sticking to the routine and doing it on a daily basis, and building the discipline of doing it even when I don't feel like it, it helped me see a lot of things that changed emotionally and mentally for me. Changed completely. First of all, made me see what it is that I won't tolerate anymore in my life. It made me see how people genuinely don't care what you do with your life, but that people are all focused on their own issues and their own life. Dealing with someone that is emotionally unavailable, or whatever you might call it, whatever behavior or however way, if you don't change the way that you feel about yourself and how you love yourself and work on yourself, it can be very draining and exhausting and very confusing at the same time. Having to deal with someone that shows you the affection through looking at you, or physically they see the affection, but there's no actions taken towards you, or saying, okay, I have an interest in you, things like that. And if you guys do want me to go more in detail about this, let me know in the comments, and I will make a video explaining more about this. But having to deal with that, and after doing while doing the 75 hard challenge, a lot changed my perspective. I stopped associating myself or engaging or interacting in this experience constantly, because it was exhausting, it was draining, it was disrupting my entire nervous system. I was confused, I was drained, I was just exhausted, and I could sense something was wrong, or something was the issue. But at that time, but now that I've been doing the challenge, it's almost like something just ticked inside of my brain, or changed. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's the maturity coming in or something, but it just changed. I started once I made the decision to stop engaging in that, I finally saw overthinking things, and where things are not in my control. So the way the person would act, and the way the person would hide and have this confusing behavior going on of mixed signals and things like that, I stopped engaging completely. in it. I stop paying attention to it. I just completely, whenever I do know that it's about something, then I just detach completely regarding the situation. I just detach completely. Once I know once I knew that I stopped engaging in it and I started working on my detachment from this experience so many times, I started realizing, okay, the things you were doing to show signs to the person that you like them or that you have an interest in them has got nothing to do with it. When I realized and stopped paying attention to it, the person hiding, the person acting all sorts of ways, and every time I would go onto ChatGPT, as you always do, and question and search and like, what does it mean? What does this do? And it was just draining and exhausting at the same time. Over analyzing the actions, over analyzing how they treat me or how they act with me and stuff like that. It made me question a lot of the times, and it made me question a lot of the things. So once I stopped detaching from the situation, I finally took a step back and started observing more and started focusing on me, myself more with the 75 challenge. When we started doing the challenge, it was exhausting and nerve-wracking at the same time. I was nervous, I was uncomfortable, and I was scared. But when I started doing it and when I started seeing the consistency for 3 weeks now, it changed a lot. I started seeing and realizing, wait, because this person is hiding or because this person is giving mixed signals or whatever, it has got nothing, absolutely nothing to do with me, but everything to do with them. Because realizing I haven't engaged with you, I haven't interacted in anything or paid attention to anything that you're doing or anything, realizing it's got nothing to do with me. I did not cause anything. I did not do anything. When I was going through that constant cycle of overthinking, confusion, mixed signals, and thinking that it's my fault, thinking that I shouldn't have done those things, it's got nothing to do with me, but it's got everything to do with what the person is going through, the things the person's dealing with in their day-to-day life, the emotions they feel, the overwhelming they feel, whatever the case might be, based on negative experience in their lives. And that's when I realized people don't care at all. People's got their own things to worry about. If someone says something, just understand it's from whatever they're going through. Don't pay attention to it or don't give into it or don't think about it as much. Because if a stranger says something to you and that's gonna bother you for a while, that person's not even gonna remember you or remember what they said to you, but you constantly gonna remind yourself of it. People don't care. Everyone is trying to better themselves, love their lives, and do good for themselves by raising their standards, going to the gym, moving their bodies, eating healthy, doing skincare, self-care, solo dates, solo trips. Everyone is trying their utmost best to heal themselves in order to give themselves the best lives possible. And that is all. And that is what I realized in this challenge, is that people don't care. When we started walking every morning, I was so nervous because I was always started thinking and getting uncomfortable with it, because I started thinking, what is people gonna say? What is people gonna do? When we went, a few people saw us, they never said anything. Sometimes we even end up greeting someone, or sometimes we even end up, but it's never that way people's gonna ask you, what are you doing? Why are you walking around so many times? No one is gonna ask that, because everyone's got their own thing to do. Everyone's got their own life to love. Yes, they're gonna look at you, they're gonna stare at you and things like that, but that doesn't change the fact that they're gonna see you. But everyone's has their own goals to chase, has their own aspirations to go after, and things and accomplishments and goals for the year to go after. Why would I still want to be worried about someone or what someone's gonna think about me, because and stop myself from living the dream life I know that I deserve and the life that I know I want, and so on. Now that we've gone through my experiences and the lessons that I've learned on what it actually is like to rebrand your life, I want to give you guys some guidelines. This is gonna go in the categories of habits, consistency, discipline, physical, emotional, and environmental changes that you can put into place in rebranding your life consistently. Now, I understand and I do know that each one of us is not perfect. Sometimes we're gonna fall off a little bit, but the matter is, the point that I'm trying to bring across is the consistency that comes with this. So let's get started. Habits. Now, when I'm speaking about habits, I am speaking of getting up at a set time every single day. Okay, if you're used to waking up at noon or in the afternoon at like 12, we're not doing that anymore. We are not, because waking up at 12 or your whole morning is wasted by you sleeping or being on your phone, waking up at times. Me and my sisters, especially weekends from like school weeks, we used to always wake up at 10, right? Here's where we went wrong. Then you get up, you leave your bed unmade. We then go brush our teeth, then we eat something like heavy, and then we're lazy. Then we don't clean properly, we don't do proper chores, we don't do what we're supposed to do. We fall and you're just lazy and unproductive and you don't do things properly. Now that's where we make the mistakes. So now that you're gonna get up, instead of getting up at 12 every morning, I want you to just start off slow. Don't start with getting up very, very early, because you're just gonna exhaust yourself and burn yourself out. If you're not used to, or go about with the schedule of your day, if you're a busy person, start getting up at least 30 minutes earlier. If you're not so busy, or you're not busy at all, get up at least an hour that feels comfortable, an hour earlier than what you're always used to waking up at, because in that hour it can help you focus on the things that you want to work on. For example, journaling, reading your Bible, praying and meditating, even reading a book, watching a self improvement video, learning a skill, learning something for that time, waking up in that early hour. Does help me a lot, because it can help you a lot when it comes, especially when it comes to reading your word and journaling. It's more so about filling your cup and putting yourself in the position of being able to pour your heart out on a piece of paper. Everything that you're feeling from the moment you woke up, you addressing those things. This helped me a lot, because it made me, especially the more that I poured out everything that I was thinking of and everything that was causing me to overthink in that moment, it helped me a lot, because throughout my day my mind is cleared. I have so much peace and calmness in me that my brain is able to figure out things that I need to work on. Things that you've never healed, or emotions that you've never addressed that has hurt you from past hurt, or whatever the case might be, is allowed to come up so that you can work on them. This is mainly like triggers. So those triggers are coming up in the day of calmness, so that you can work on those triggers, address the trigger, figure out about how you're going to work backwards from this, and how you're going to heal yourself moving forward. This has helped me a lot, especially with raising standards. Once you continuously work on the triggers in your life, no one has anything to say about you, because you know yourself. You then starting to build the proper habits in place, and the proper standards in place and boundaries in place, to allow yourself experience the healthiest relationships in the future. This helps a lot. That is what journaling can do. Reading your word every day and spending deep diving in the word of God and spending time with God as well helps a lot, with him guiding you through it, showing you where you need to grow and things you need to work on, not just with yourself, but more so in your spiritual life as well, that you can do. So the first thing, now you need to take note. Getting up at least 30 minutes earlier than you always do, or even an hour earlier. Journaling, reading your word, and reading 10 pages of a book. Whatever you feel comfortable. Even if you do feel comfortable doing a 75 heart challenge, by all means do so. Now, next thing that we're going to talk about is habits. Now we've got that across. Now it's about getting out of the bed, making yourself look presentable and decent, washing your face, brushing your teeth, taking care of yourself, looking after yourself, looking presentable. Start with doing a home workout, or going to the gym, going to a workout class, or even walking, getting your 10K steps every single day. Simple as that. Starting with that will get you the discipline and the consistency that you need for the time period. Sticking to that. Once you've completed all of those tasks and done all of that and made up your bed, make up your bed as well. Don't just leave your bed unmade, because it sets your mood, because it almost does something like a trick in your brain that makes you realize, okay, it makes you feel half or less more accomplished, because you actually got the hard part out of the way, which is getting up or getting out of the bed. Make your bed up, do your journaling, praying, and all of that. Now that you've done those habits, this is where you're going to include the emotional challenges. Doing some self-care, doing some nighttime routine self-care, relaxing baths, relaxing showers, whatever the case might be, solo dates, mentally and emotionally, reading books about the things that you've been through or things that you need to want to learn about, something like attachment styles or habits, importance of building habits. I read a lot of devotionals because my main priority is building or focusing more on building my relationship with God and more getting more in tune with his spirit. So that's what I've been focusing on a lot. Once you've completed these things, it's gonna make you feel so accomplished and so productive in the morning. After that, if you don't have anything to do, you can may probably learn a skill. Now, in the category of emotions, journal. Please journal. Watch videos on whatever it is that you're going through, whether that's breakup or whatever the case may be, feeling doubtful, feeling scared, feeling unmotivated, not feeling disciplined. Watch videos, read books about it, do research about it, and understand what it is that you need. Building the self-care in that moments, because in the self-care moments, journaling everything out, finding a list of journal prompts even on Pinterest or Google or ChatGPT, journal prompts to address certain things that you're going through, whatever you're experiencing in the moment right now in your life. Finding journal prompts regarding that situation and journaling with those journal prompts to figure out the things that you need to work on more, whether that's working more on your confidence, working more on your attachment style, working more on the things on raising your standards, raising your boundaries, to unhealthy and toxic relationships or toxic friendships, raising your standards in that, the importance of that, finding ways to work towards that so that you don't have to worry about anything, or that you not don't worry in the future. Work on these things. Take the journal prompts, even if it's just 10 minutes before you go to bed or before you sleep, or 10 minutes in the morning, or whatever the case might be. Doing and asking yourself these questions, being completely honest with yourself, even if it's harsh or brutal, but being honest with yourself. That way you're able to build the habits, and not necessarily build the habits, but that you can put into place, and working your way towards putting the proper boundaries and self-respect and self high valued and self growth and self accountability and the standards in place for you to have a healthy relationship in your life. The next thing that we're going to go on to is the category of physically. Now, physically, this is going to go into two categories of physical movement, body movement, weight loss, healthy meals, nutrition, and environment. So that's what I'm going to go in detail. Now, with the physical body movement, I started realizing that nutrition does count a lot in your lifetime, because you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of what you put in your stomach, what you don't like and what you don't eat, what is unhealthy for you. Working on those things, it not just does the benefits on the inside, but it's also going to reflect on the outside, that you have such high standards, that you take care of your body, you work out, you eat the proper meals, eat the nutrition meals, eat the high protein meals, whatever the case might be. Working on your nutrition and on your weight loss, not for the sake of proving a point to people or proving a point to someone, but for the sake of your well-being and your mental health. I cannot tell you guys the amount of times since walking, getting my steps in every morning has de-stressed me a lot. My sleep has improved, my regulation and hormones and stress levels has decreased. It just helps you, because walking in the peace of the morning, not a lot of people's in the streets, but the wind is blowing, listening to an audiobook, even listening to a sermon, or listening or even just praying, it's gonna de-stress you a lot. One of the things that I've realized, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed or just nervous, and going on a walk, do it. It's gonna help you. And I cannot tell you how many times I felt so much better physically, emotionally, and mentally coming back from a walk. Then it's gonna be about taking care of your body. That means movement, going to the gym, doing home workouts, and eating the proper meals that you need. Because I've realized a lot that most people don't really care about your weight or anything, but I realized I weigh a lot. I've seen changes and I'm seeing differences. Although I'm not where I want to be with my weight goals as yet, I'm learning to take it one day at a time, but seeing it as a way of strengthening myself and taking care of myself. These are the things I see when it regards weight loss. Never think of going or eating healthy or moving your body as a chore or as a force that you have to do it. See it as a way of bettering yourself and taking care of your mental state and your well-being, that you're able to feel stronger and better in yourself. That's the one thing. Don't you want to eat nutritional, healthy meals, doing a movement and walking, feeling so good about yourself that you know what, your body starts, you start trusting yourself with certain things, and it doesn't just work in the aspect of taking care of your physical health and your what you're eating and your nutrition, but it takes care of other areas in your life with your goals, regarding your goals, your ambitions, your dreams, and the life you've dreamed for yourself, or the life you want to build for yourself. It takes regarding all of that, because it's allowing your inner child, to your younger self or inner child, to feel safe again with you in control, to feel safe and to be able to comfort yourself and take care of yourself. At the end of the day, of eating something healthy and fueling your body instead of punishing your body, you taking care of yourself. Don't you want to feel that sense of comfort? You know what? I trust myself so much. I don't want to put myself through so much torture again of eating unhealthy, not moving my body, going through toxic relationships, going through unhealthy relationships. I want to work on my goals. I don't want to have to deal with these negative experiences every single time in my life. Negative experiences comes in our lives to teach us how we should take better care of ourselves and to help us grow and learn lessons through it. But don't let it be, or let it get to the extent where you completely destroy yourself and your life, and you play the victim mentality all over again, where you think, oh, it's their fault, but in fact it's always our fault, because you keep allowing yourself to get to that position or get to that extent where you're putting yourself in those unhealthy patterns and behaviors and relationships and habits in your day-to-day life. That's how my mindset changed completely with movement and building these habits and rebranding my mental health and my life. In the category of taking care of your surrounding place, we're going to be talking about this a lot. My cupboards, our cupboards in our house, that is what we're working on a lot, is organizing it, making sure that every week or at least every 2 months or 3 months we're cleaning out the cupboards, wiping everything out, cleaning it out thoroughly, and organizing the cupboards. Sometimes we were like, when we get the proper cleaning equipment and the proper cleaning products, we're gonna do a deep clean. But sometimes it doesn't always just matter about worth keeping your place organized and clean. This cupboard broke off, and ever since then my dad has just never had the proper time to actually put it on for us. So just ignore the distraction of the cupboard. At least if it's on, our room looks more organized, more cleaned, and more put together. Making up your bed, organizing your space, wiping down your counters, cleaning your room, cleaning the house, ensuring that your house is clean. Have we ever had those experiences when visitors come to your house unexpectedly and the house is just dirty? Lounges time mess up, dishes are not washed, kitchen is a mess, floors is scary experience that every time my sisters was like, we're gonna wash dishes every single Sunday because of unexpected visitors, because we don't want them to come to the house when the house is messed up. That's what we've put ourselves through too much trauma with those experiences that we changed ourselves. We were like, clean the kitchen no matter what, no matter how you feel. Yes, some days are lazy, some days are not perfect, where you're just completely tired, you don't have the energy to actually wash the dishes. But even such as so, packing it in the sink or in the dishwasher and wiping down the counters, do it. Taking care of your environment, cleaning your space, putting yourself in the environment of taking care of your space around you. If your room is a mess, clean it up. If you feel like, even if it's instances where we leave the house in a rush, once you've come back home and you've relaxed, and before you eat anything or before you do anything else, give yourself a reward system. You're like, okay, if I can clean my bedroom before I eat something and before I take a nap or before I make myself something to eat, and I clean my space, I get to have a sweet treat, or you get to have a cup of iced coffee or an iced matcha or a drink or your favorite beverage, whatever the case might be. Just building that reward system, not every single time to guilt trip you into having something nice, because you should always treat yourself once in a while, but just to help you accomplish the things you've been delaying for the longest of time. That just helps you. cleaning your space, because, and this goes to me as well, if we've asked God for a big house, like a luxury home, right, and you go anything, you leave the house dirty, you just wait for the cleaners to come and clean the house, or whatever the case might be, God sometimes makes you build the habits and take you through the growth process, or the reshaping and rebranding process of how the habits of building habits in place that you know is going to benefit you and it's going to help you in the long term of your successful life. If you know that you can't take care of the house that you're currently living in, what makes God want to bless us with a bigger luxury house? It's about showing that you cherish even the littlest and that you are grateful for even the littlest of things. If you hang up your clothes and make it look neat and presentable, the fact that you can do that, or the fact that you have a bedroom to be in, should make you even more appreciative to God that He's blessed you with a bedroom and a house to live in. That you take care of that, because one day when God blesses you with a bigger house, He knows you're going to express your deepest gratitude for that big house because you've taken care of your house. And even in God's complete stress mode, because first of all, you're seeing the room's a mess, the kitchen is dirty, the living room is a mess. Us doing that closing shift every single night, when we used to tidy up the kitchen, wash the dishes, vacuum the carpets, clean the floor, sweep the floors, in the morning, it helped us so much, especially because by 11 we've already completed our morning routine of gymming, moving our bodies, and eating breakfast and everything. Maybe there's just a few dishes from what we used to make the breakfast that we can just pack in the sink and wipe down the counters. In the afternoon, we'll wash the dishes. But the fact that you have so much of that time on your hands, imagine the things you can do. You can learn a new skill, spend an hour reading a book, learning a language, learning a skill that's going to benefit you for success goals, building financial freedom, your relationship with God, working on reading your word, and spending and deep diving in the word. That is how beneficial it can be for you to rebrand your life and build the life that you want. I've almost finished. I didn't even finish my coffee because of how good this video is, and that's the reminder that I needed. Anyways, I hope you guys loved and enjoyed this video. Please do let me know in the comments what you guys think and how this helped you. But I want you to take the most important thing and reminder from this video itself. Let this video be your encouragement to take care of yourself and build your dream life, to care for yourself and to love yourself. There's so many other things that is happening in the world. The best that you can do for yourself is to work on yourself and love yourself and actually take care of yourself. Think if there's anything you want me to speak about that relates to me in this video, please do let me know, and how much it inspired you to be your best self in 2026. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Raylene_Simmons58 and the Gracefully Growing Instagram page. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video.